When I say all I see is light from my above, there's no below, there's only love from my above. You are all free, there are no sins, there's only me. I am the sun from my above, there no below, there only love from my above. Oh, my above, there's no below, there's only love from my above, from my height, there are no lows.
Welcome everybody to the second hour of Hakof Hamea radio show. That's the first time we're doing this show in English. Hi Gal.
Hi, Liam.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to speak in English in our own show that is actually a Hebrew show.
Yeah.
And I think we have this reason, really good reason that we are doing this show in English. And the reason is that we have a really special guest on this topic we were talking about the last hour with Avi. And our guest here is, I think I told in the first hour, is a guest that show proves, right? It's like till now we just discussed about this distilled water and actually what happens and how to take it and everything about distilled water. And now we have a special guest. I say it again that she is wonderful. And Gal, do you want to present
Yes.
her?
Anna Hilde Smith, 52-year-old female experiencing type 1 diabetes for 42 years, on distilled liquid therapy for 13 months, and feel she have found the fountain of youth in reversing the damage done from diabetes, and her mission is to share the world's greatest secret, a secret that is so simple and free, that is so easy to comprehend, the original cleaning and maintenance of the body. Anna Smith, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome, Gal. Hi, Gal. Hi, Leav.
Hi.
Wow,
Yeah.
this is thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. You know, Anna, I really don't know where to start from. I guess we can start that you have this kind of a blog on Facebook. It's called Changing My DNA. You want to tell us about this blog that you start, Changing My DNA?
Yes, and maybe I'll start before that as to how I was introduced to distilled liquids.
Yeah.
Back 13 months ago, and actually I should go back farther than that because I have been on the search for something, anything that would heal the disease that I have been carrying around with me for 42 years. And I always knew that I would be able to get rid of this, but I never knew how. But I was always trying everything that I could possibly imagine that would help me. And so I was currently, or 13 months ago, I was taking these they're called RNA, ribonucleic acid drops, and they tiny little bottle costs like $60. And so I was getting ready to order my second bottle, wondering how I'm going to afford to keep doing this. And so I called a friend and I asked her, if the friend that introduced me to the RNA drops, and I asked her if she had a discount for the drops. And she said to me, "Have you heard of distilled liquids?" And of course, you know, a lot of people have heard of that term, distilled water, distilled liquids. So she said, "Go look up on the computer Andrew Norton Weber and distilled liquids." So I got off the phone. I immediately Googled Andrew Norton Weber, distilled liquids, and tracked down Andrew's email and sent him an email. And the next day he phoned me, literally picked up the phone and called me. I was shocked. And from that day forward, I think it's 300, I have to look on my calendar, 390 something days. I have been drinking my own urine. And in the beginning, I didn't even purchase distilled water. I just started fasting. I stopped eating and I started drinking my own water. And instantly, that's how I got started. Now, what's interesting is about 7 years ago, urine therapy was presented to me, probably from me doing research on the computer again. And I tried it about 7 years ago, but there was not the support, there was not the information, there was nothing really except a few articles that I could find. And so I think I did it for a week or two, and then I forgot about it. Well, when it presented itself to me for a second time, I thought I better pay attention. So I instantly felt a peace come upon me after the first drinking. I mean, it was something that I had never really felt before. And it just keeps getting stronger and stronger as the days go by. So anyway, that's how I got introduced to distilled liquids through Andrew Norton Weber.
Yeah. Right.
Well, my story is some similarities with Andrew Norton Weber, and the first time I heard him, it was so powerful. And I described it as like someone put an amplifier on my heart, and I knew that everything was true and empowering, and the most powerful thing I can do in my life. And the day after, I drank my first cup in the morning. It was very dark, and I did it, and several minutes after, I had this very warm air coming out of my nostrils, and very warm, and my whole and my face became like I felt like the blood is pumping into my face. And the only way I can describe it today is self-activation. It's something in the deepest part of me said, thank you so much for doing this. You've just saved me. And this man, I'm so moved, and excited to talk about it. Wow, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that when you said that it saved you, I got diabetes when I was 10 years old, and so I never really thought I was going to live past 30 when I was younger. It wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't a negative thing. It was just what it was. I didn't think I would live past 30. And then I got to 30 and I thought, well, okay, I'm going to make it a little longer. And that's probably when I really started searching. But with that said, what was always in the back of my mind was, oh my gosh, what am I going to be like when I'm older? What I can't imagine, because diabetes, it just ravages the body.
What are the symptoms you had? I mean, like.
You mean the symptoms of diabetes?
Yeah, of what you had.
I was skinny as a rail. I was drinking just boatloads of water. I could not hydrate myself. And then I was peeing that water out. It was like going around in a circle.
Yeah.
Then I actually blacked. I went into like a coma. And my mom, I had 5 siblings, and she didn't take us to the doctor for, every little scrape. So I remember going into their bedroom in the middle of the night. My tongue was black, and I think I probably went into a coma at about that time. And then they took me to the hospital. I was in the hospital for 10 days. They didn't know any better, and they put me on insulin, and I've been on insulin for my whole life. So my mind, the way that I think about my future is so different. I look forward to, I'm already 52, but I do look forward to aging, and aging gracefully, and aging much healthier than I was going to age without the distilled liquids.
Yeah. And I remember reading in your blog really physical symptoms you had, and like things with your body that you had, and they started
during when I was drinking my own water.
Yes, and also you said you had it before.
So you mean my blood sugars would go like
low?
Yeah.
Like that, and some, I don't know, sensation in your bodies and pains, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, my body was aging inside a lot faster than I could tell my friends, my siblings. Like my flexibility, my stiffness of joints. I of course had I've had 10 surgeries on 7 of my 10 fingers. I had trigger fingers, so my fingers kind of locked down. I don't know if you know what trigger finger is, but your finger locks down, and the joint right at the base of your finger, it won't. There's so much calcification on the joint there that your finger won't straighten up.
Yeah.
So I had 7 of my 10 fingers had to be released by surgery. I had diabetic retinopathy, and my eyes were leaking and bleeding, and I had my eyes cauterized that was in like 1985. And I could tell that my kidneys were starting to not function like they should be functioning. And so I'm pleased to say that with the distilled liquids therapy, my flexibility is much greater. My kidneys function like a normal person's kidneys should function. I feel that the distilled liquids are removing the calcification from my joints, from my hips, from my shoulders. I've had frozen shoulder where I couldn't lift my right shoulder. I couldn't even lift my right arm up. And so, it's truly is amazing to me what's happening. I'm still amazed at it. I am still amazed at what is happening.
Did you see a doctor after the last?
Yes.
Or did you check it and they told you it's gone or it's better?
No. I still have an insulin pump, and I have reduced my insulin by at least half.
Okay.
And see, it's insulin that when you're injecting a foreign matter into your body, is what's, along with the sugar running around in your blood, the man-made, lab-made insulin that I'm injecting is also harming my body.
Yeah.
So my goal is to obviously not take any insulin, and I have already reduced it by about half. So in the beginning, I fasted and drank only my own water for 12 straight days. I don't know if you want me to go into the story about I was drinking coconut water to raise my blood sugar. When my blood sugar was low, I would need to eat or drink something, and so I chose coconut. I don't know why I chose coconut, but I chose coconut water and live coconuts. Just because I thought it would be healthy.
Yeah. So it's distilled water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what else? There's something else in coconut that allows your brain to become more cognitive. So what happened was, I was driving. I was on my 12th day. I was driving home from work, and my vision started to get double. I was starting to see double vision on the freeway.
Oh.
And I knew it, but when your blood sugar's low, your brain's not working properly.
Yeah.
So I knew I was seeing double, and I knew I needed to pull over. I had an apple and I had a can of coconut water on my seat, but I wasn't thinking properly. And it was traffic time, and so anyway, I go to make a turn into my neighborhood, and I rammed into a wall and I totaled my car, and the paramedics showed up and my blood sugar was 21. Well, come to find out, normal blood sugar is about 80.
Yeah.
Mine was 21.
Wow.
I was still conscious. I never lost consciousness. I told them my address, my phone, my husband's work, everything. I told them I knew everything. I was clearly conscious. But they took me to the hospital, and then when I got home, I started doing research as to why that happened. And it was the coconut water that was it was making me feel and think in a clearer manner with low blood sugar. So anyway, that's kind of a long story short. It's the reason I stopped my fast at 12 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be going on another long-term fast. I just have not gotten there yet.
Yeah. So you continued drinking your own water. How much did you take every day?
Every bit of it. Every bit. And it was, in the beginning, it tastes very metallic and oftentimes bitter, oftentimes bitter, what you and I were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And that lasted for, I want to say, about a week. And I knew I was clearing stuff out of my system.
Yeah.
But I just continued to drink every sip of my own water. No distilled water. And I did it day and night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I drank it, and I continued on. I just did that for 12 days, and I feel like that propelled me to the healing that I'm still feeling today. So I would say I was about 3 months into drinking my own water when I introduced distilled water out of a jug, just a plain old distilled water out of a jug. And now currently I'm doing about half of I always drink my early morning anywhere from 3 to 6 a.m. I don't miss any of that water because that water has the most information. You're sleeping, your body's reproducing, it's resting. And so I just feel like that is the most valuable of my water.
Yeah.
And then some days I will not eat anything and I'll just drink my own water. Some days I'll drink half and half, half my own, half distilled, but I always make certain that I get at least 1 gallon of the combination.
So what else do you do to nourish your body? What do you consume?
I usually don't eat in the morning. I don't eat anything. I feel satiated by my own water.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't eat anything. I will take a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of agar, which is a seaweed. And I drink distilled water in a teapot with it depends. Sometimes I'll just stick cinnamon sticks in there, or I'll put fennel or fenugreek or coriander or cumin, or I'll go out to the backyard and get some lemon balm or any kind of natural seed, or I don't do tea bags because of the fluoride.
Yeah.
In the tea. Especially green tea.
Do you want to explain that part? I think it's very important.
All I know is what I've learned from Andrew is that tea, especially green tea, has just a ton of fluoride in it. And I don't know much more than that. Do you either of you guys know anything about that?
No, just the same fact.
Yeah, the same.
Yeah, so I, in fact, just cleared out I had tea bags galore. And I even feel bad giving them away, but I am going to give them away just because maybe somebody doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do not drink tea from tea bags anymore. I will not drink tap water. I haven't drinking tap water in a long time.
Yeah.
Before I started drinking my own water, I was drinking water it's called prilled, Prill, prill water. And they're these beads made out of magnesium, I think magnesium oxide, but they're these little beads. And I would filter the water first, and then I would put it in the prill beads, and then I would drink that. But then I found distilled water and feel that it's much purer than any water that I've had before.
So what do you think? What's inside the urine that you don't have in regular distilled water?
So it is the distilled waters aspect of urine that is the majority of urine. Your urine is 95% distilled water.
Yeah.
And then it's 5% of your own perfect medicine. Urea is 2.5%. And urea is used in a lot of different medications. It's used in beauty products. It's models paint their face with their own urine the night before they have to go on a shoot or go. They might, I mean, I don't know because I don't have any model friends, but from what I've read and understand, it's the urea in the urine that is the beauty ingredient in a lot of very expensive creams that women pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the other 2.5%, so 95 distilled water, 2.5 urea, and then 2.5. This is my understanding, is what my body needs to heal whatever might ail me. And I also think it's the distilled water too that's cleaning. I mean, obviously it's the distilled water that is picking up the positively charged, the calcification in my joints and in my kidneys and in my pancreas.
Yeah.
I think that it's, it's all of it that's picking all of that up, and that I'm getting rid of it. And I mean, I still am shocked daily at things that, happen. But, you asked about diet.
Yeah, right.
So I don't eat in the morning. Most of the time I don't eat in the morning unless my blood sugar's low and I need to eat something. And then if that's the case, I will eat I'll eat a couple of dates or an apple or something natural, banana. But that doesn't happen very often. And then lunchtime, if I'm still feeling fine, I won't eat. Or if I'm going out, I'll have a salad. Or I mainly eat raw, whole foods.
Yeah.
So I belong to a community-supported agriculture. So I'm lucky in that sense that I have access to fresh greens and kale and chard and different vegetables, because I don't eat a lot of fruits, only when I need to raise my blood sugar.
So it's like being a mix between a liquidarian and a raw food diet. Something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a distilled water machine?
Oh, I wish. I wish. And I am looking into it, but they're expensive. The one that I want to get, a 20-gallon one, and it's about $4,000 US. So
Wow.
right now I just purchased 89-cent a gallon distilled water at the store. And oftentimes you can get it cheaper than that.
Really? In Israel, it's actually really expensive. I mean, like 3 times than that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we have to buy a distiller or something that produces.
And it's so cheap. Why? I wonder why. That's interesting.
I don't know. Maybe they don't. We don't have any demand here for distilled water, so I don't know why. So you've been like for more than a year on this on distilled water, on your own water. What do you say if somebody comes to you now with the same disease you have? What will you say to him? I mean, how will you guide him?
I would say fast, stop eating, and drink all of your own water for as long as you can. If I hadn't gotten in that accident, I'd still be doing it today, because I wasn't eating for the 12 days. And once I got in the accident, it was cold, it was in the winter, it was November, it was a year ago actually. And so I started to introduce, foods back into my diet. And I really, talking to you guys, even more so, I know that I need to completely stop eating and just drink my own water. But I would say fast, listen to your body, listen to your body very carefully, because it will tell you everything you need to know. Before I started drinking, I had dry eyes, and literally in the morning, I would have to take my fingers, my eye was shut, and I would have to take my fingers and push down on my eye to get it moist enough to open it.
Wow.
And I would say that was one of the first things I noticed, is my dry eyes went away. It's all about hydration. It's a lot about hydration. And we cannot get hydrated with tap water and water with minerals in it and gunk. And so that was one of the first things I noticed. And then I started feeling like my fingers started, like some of the scar tissue in my hands and some of the joints that had been kind of stiff and unflexible, I started to feel those move more. I started to see wrinkles on my face, my pores. Like I used to have like large pores on my face, and I started to see my pores get smaller and my wrinkles almost disappear.
Wow.
My hair, I have very kind of crazy, coarse, curly hair, and my hair is a completely different texture. I love the texture of my hair now, where I always used to fight it. And you had asked earlier about numbers going to the doctor. So yes, I still go to the doctor. I only go once a year now, whereas I used to go like every 3 months and get my blood drawn and they check my blood. And now I just go once a year. Recently I have been, but my glycosylated hemoglobin, which measures the sugar that runs around in your blood for like the past 3 months. It's a test that all diabetics, that all doctors would give diabetics. But I had the lowest glycosylated hemoglobin ever last March, I think it was, when I had my blood drawn. All of my numbers were within guidelines. My vitamin D has always been low. In Seattle, where we have a lot of cloud cover and rain, and my vitamin D had always been low, and I couldn't even bring it up with taking drops under my tongue or anything. And my vitamin D was within range.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, amazing. And that is, I believe, my own medicine.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
What about B12? Do you know something?
B12, yeah. I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and look at my numbers and see if she checked B12. I think she probably did. But similar to the vitamin D, Liav, I think that the B12, you would see a similar reaction with your B12 coming back into normal range.
Yeah.
Just by drinking your medicine.
Just by drinking your own medicine.
That's
that's I'm gonna amazing. Try it. I mean, for me, B12 was always an issue in my life, and I really don't know, because some say that the tests that you do, that medicine do for you on B12, are not really accurate, and they have a different scale from what it's supposed to be. But I want to try it. I mean, like right now I'm on like between someday like 2 cups, someday like 8 cups of my own water. But and I'm waiting for my distiller to come. It's still Yeah, it's I ordered it from eBay and still hasn't come. So, and I'm gonna do the checking about blood test and about B12 and also vitamin D because I also had a low vitamin D the last time I've checked. So I really curious about it to see what happens.
If you'll start to loop every day and you do also sun gazing,
Yeah.
the vitamin D from the sun is absorbed in the body, go to the bloodstream and everything, and then you loop it. That's your medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've been doing sun gazing for a long time. I don't know if you know anything about it, but it's but I at last test I took, it was like after the winter in Israel, and it was like I don't know 4 months I haven't done sun gazing, and maybe I guess that's why I had a low vitamin D. I don't know how it really works.
You know, everything is energy and vibration.
Yeah.
So the sun, no matter where you are, even in very cold places, I do believe that if someone will drink his own medicine, then his vitamin D levels will start to straight up. Maybe it will take more time, you know, in comparison to someone in more tropical area, but I think I do believe you don't need anything else.
I do believe that too, and the reason the reason I believe when you were talking about that, Gal, my vision has improved. I when I went to the doctor, I forgot to bring my glasses in, and they did the test. They did the vision test without my glasses, and I passed with flying colors.
Wow, that's
Yeah, and I can tell that my vision is better. My sense of smell is better. My taste is better. My digestion is clear, and I not eating a lot of food, I don't have to go to the bathroom that often, but when I do eat food, my digestion it's much better than it used to be.
much quicker,
Yeah. And that's, we should probably touch on that point about detox. Did you guys talk about that in the first hour about
Not too much.
Not too much. But I also wanted to add that I throw away my glasses after two months.
Yeah.
And I had glasses since I was less than 4.
Wow.
So my numbers weren't very high at the first place, but I have a cylinder, like here in Hebrew it's called cylinder, but I don't know how to say it. The skewed.
I know what you're talking. I can't think of the word.
I don't know the word. So but I threw it away because I just felt, I didn't go to the doctor, to the optometrist, but I felt like I don't need them anymore, and my eyes don't sore. I'm even if I'm all day long in front of the computer, it doesn't matter. That's incredible.
Yeah. I will say I got a grounding mat. Are you guys familiar with the grounding mat?
Yes.
Yeah, we know about it. It's amazing stuff.
It's made a huge, I've only had it for a short period of time. I've only had it for, I think, a couple weeks, but
really?
It has made a huge difference. Huge. For $59, it has made a huge difference in my life.
The thing is to send it to Israel, it costs another $50. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So actually, there is some solution for if you want to do it yourself. But can you explain for the audience? Who's listening to us, what is this?
Yeah. There's a book called Earthing. Earthing, Earthing,
Yeah.
by Clinton Ober and a couple of other people. And it just, we all wear shoes, we all wear rubber on the bottom of our feet, we all sleep on mattresses, we're not connected to the earth. And the grounding mat literally makes you feel, you have to use your bare feet, but it literally makes you feel grounded to the earth, even when you're inside a house. It's very weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, well, I know that you put it in the electricity socket,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. In
And
just the little round and little,
yeah,
the little,
just the ground socket.
yeah.
And then it's actually connected to the ground. That's why it's called like that.
And you can actually, I've seen pictures of, you can actually get a rod, and instead of sticking it in that little ground outlet, you could stick the rod into the ground.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and connect it with a thin cable.
And then the mat, which is just,
Yeah.
it has silver linings in it. I'm really not educated on it, so.
So do you sleep with that?
I haven't yet.
Oh, okay.
But I do want to try that. I do want to try it. I haven't done that yet. I wanted to mention one other thing because I think it's huge.
All right.
And back 10 years ago, I read this book called The Diabetes Solution by Dr. Bernstein.
Okay.
And I looked him up, and I actually visited. He lives across the country. My husband and I both flew to New York and to see this doctor. And there were a couple of really good things I got out of it. And one of them was he had this barrage of tests that he felt diabetics should do. And one of them was testing your vagus nerve. And it's a nerve that runs from your neck down through your heart, through your stomach. And they call it the wandering nerve because it kind of just weaves all the way through your body, down through your stomach area. And sure enough, I did the test, and you do the test by putting these nodes on your chest, and then you breathe in and out really deep, and they can tell by the exhalation. If you have breaks in your exhalation, then there's damage. Anyway, mine comes back. I have damage and from the diabetes. And I knew something was wrong with my, like my breathing was becoming shallow, and I couldn't run, and it was nothing overt, but just I could tell in my body that something wasn't right. So after I would say, I don't know how many months of drinking my own water and distilled water, but probably a good few months maybe, I started to feel my lung capacity get larger and my breath get deeper. And talk about exciting. That was exciting. Wow. And that still excites me to this day, because my breath is deeper, my lungs are healing, and I'm certain if I went back and did that test again, that it would show improvement. And I am going to do that one day, but anyway. Wow. Lungs. If anybody has any lung issues, or even if you smoke, whatever, drinking your own water or distilled water or just distilled liquids is going to be a huge benefit to your lungs.
I remember Andrew mentioned that he has a very a friend, like maybe in his
Yes.
60s or something, that he smoked since he was 16, I believe, and he went to the doctor, and after he started drinking distilled water, the doctor said, I can't see anything. What did you do?
Yep.
Yeah, that's incredible. And one
That's
more
amazing.
thing. Yeah, that's wow.
Hey, I have to share something. I just looked at my calendar. It's day 400. Day 400 for
Wow.
Ah.
Woohoo.
Celebration.
Yes, it is. It is a celebration. Wow, 400. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I just wanted to add, before we continue, regarding what you said about earthing, the book, there's also an audiobook that you can download for free. You just have to like write your email or something, you download all the episodes, and it's free audiobook.
You mean the earthing book that you're
Yes, I have it. I have
Nice.
it. I haven't heard it yet, but I want to be in the right mindset and do like a meditation with it and hear it. Yeah. So,
Nice.
So it's available, and if our listeners kind of feel like this is something that speaks to them, so it's available.
How
good.
did they find it?
I will put the link when we'll upload it. So I'll just put a link in YouTube.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
And I was thinking, I know we're kind of jumping around a little bit, and I thought there was something else I wanted to share. Oh, the water of life.
Yeah.
If that has not been mentioned, the water of life. That book, and there's a free download on the water of life too. Can you link that same thing, Gal?
I will.
And whoever is listening out there, if you're not up to drinking your own water, just replace the word urine in the book, The Water of Life by John Armstrong. Just replace the word urine with distilled water.
Yes.
That book is amazing.
Yeah.
Can you, whatever feels like to you at the moment, speak about it? Just what comes up? Like.
Oh boy, you know what comes up is the peacefulness that I feel most every hour of every day, including when I'm sleeping. It's a sense of calm that has come over me since drinking distilled liquids that I know I would not have or would never have had if I had not been introduced to distilled liquids. I feel I interact with people differently. I don't get riled up over hardly anything anymore. I feel a sense of calm, a sense of peace, a sense that I'm not. I always used to worry about my health, worry about, oh my God, my husband's going to have to be taking care of me in 10 years or 20 years or and I don't worry about that anymore. And the other thing about knowing this truth about distilled liquids is just showing by my own actions, just showing my family and my friends and people that I love. It's such a joy to be able to share something that is so truthful, like distilled liquids.
Yeah. You were mentioned before about detox. So it's a topic. It's a real big topic by its own. And what were your experiments with that?
Well, in the last years, I've eaten fairly clean, fairly clean diet, but I still detoxed through my colon, and I still am. I almost feel like layers, like there's layers and layers and layers inside me that are slowly being eroded by the distilled liquids. Eroded in a good way, getting all the calcification out. So just bowel movements, in the beginning are, I don't know how to say this nicely, they're not fun. So, I mean, that's a huge way that we detox. And then, feeling nauseous and, when you have all those toxins running around in your body, it's got to come out somewhere. So it's going to come out through your colon, your lungs, through phlegm. I didn't even mention that, but all my life I've had a lot of phlegm. In fact, for 10 years I was on a decongestant. 10 years. It makes me so mad. I was on a decongestant, and once I started drinking pure water, it cleaned out my whole nasal passages, and I don't have the phlegm. I mean, I don't even hear it in my voice. I don't feel it in my head. It's gone. So phlegm. What other detox symptoms? Oh, I had a little basal cell carcinoma, a little skin cancer on my neck, and this was about 6 or 7 years ago. I had it, cut out. Well, around that area on my shoulder, once I started drinking distilled liquids, I got this like red, it wasn't a pimple, but it was like a red, hard bump. And I truly believe it was the cancer, some latent little cancer that was still in there, coming out. And now there's no red mark, no nothing.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, amazing. I took pictures of that, and I have felt other things on my skin, like weird little things come out of my skin that they've never been there before, pimples in weird places. I'm sure bad breath and bad arm odor, and when you're in the beginning stages, that's gonna happen. Just be aware of it, and pay attention to your own body, because it'll tell you everything.
And it's very important to add that people will not mistake detox symptoms with illness, because
very important.
That's because this is how I felt. I felt like I had the flu, and I had kind of dizziness and headaches. And I didn't take pills because I had the knowledge, and knowledge is power. So once I had the knowledge that, yes, I'm detoxing, that's it. So I just let it go by. My first couple of months of only looping, almost all, except for maybe vomiting, I had like severe detox at the beginning. I don't know how people didn't smell me back when I worked at the office, because I did it while I was working in an office, because I felt it was so important for me to do at that time, So yeah.
Yeah.
And me and Gal, when we were talking, we had this code. We called the P. We call it a beer, because it looks like a beer. And he was telling me, okay, I'm gonna drink a beer. Wait a second, and that's how people in the office would not recognize something
Oh,
strange.
too funny.
Yeah.
Too funny. You know, Gal, in the beginning when you were introducing me, I think you said, I can't remember, but you said something about the simplicity. And Andrew told me this in the very beginning, and it's so, so true, that this healing method, mode, water of life, whatever you want to call it, it's so simple that it's hard to comprehend. It's very, very hard to comprehend something that is so simple. And that's why friends and family and loved ones don't necessarily get it right away. It's so simple and cheap and inexpensive and so good for us that we just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, our mindset is that good things cost money.
Right.
Yeah, right. Well, I think it's also important to know that when you detox and when you start truly cleaning the body, you start to have this, I think it's called a dewy skin, like you start to glow, and because of this, the skin start to be so moist, because of the volume of water. I think we haven't said what Andrew suggested, and this is what I do, and also probably what you do, Anna, like a gallon and a half a day. That's 4 to 5.5 liters a day.
Very important, very important.
And there's this misconception, well, it's a conscious thing, it's that you just have to put on something on you so you will feel good about yourself. Well, the thing is, you need to, the way I see it, you need to put something in you so that it will be, it's the exact opposite, so that you will radiate as that this is something so powerful.
And as you were saying that, I was thinking, from the inside out, teeth. My teeth.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That's a big one. It's
huge. It's huge. It's huge. And yes, I do. I bathe in my own water. I pour it over my scalp because I feel like my scalp absorbs it into my brain. I drop it in my ears. I take my mason jar filled with my own water and I flush my eyes out every day. I do 100 blinks. I try to do that every day. I don't get around to that every day, but that is my goal, is 100 blinks in each eye with my own water. And it's kind of cold here, and so I try to massage it into my skin, but that's a harder process than just bathing in it.
Yeah. So you bathe, like you put water and then mix it with your own water? Okay.
I have mason jars around the house, in the bathrooms, and if I don't drink my own water, I save it. I never, ever, ever let that golden elixir go down the toilet. And
saving
so
a lot of water. Yeah.
And then I save it, and I have just one shelf and if I just cover it with one thin tissue, the top on the mason jar, and it contains any smell, and I keep it all in one area under my sink. And then when I go to take a bath, I, fill the tub with water, and then I use my own water, however, either for massage or whatever I do with it.
Aged urine, you mean, right? Like
aged urine,
mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it might only be, 3 days old or 7 days old, or, but yes, aged
mm-hmm.
urine.
Wow.
Oh, healing. I have had many, cuts and scrapes, and I actually was mowing one time recently, and a rock got propelled back into my leg from the mower, and so I had a hole in my leg. I immediately ran in the house and put aged urine on a cotton pad and held it over. And I'm looking at my leg now. I don't even have a scar, which is very unusual for me.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's just incredible. Yeah, I know if you put aged urine, as you described, on any scar, it will start to fade away.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried it yet.
I even think from the inside out, because I have scar tissue on my hand, right below my fingers, inside my palm, where that joint is, where they did the surgery. I've had scar tissue. And then from my insulin pump, it's a tiny little catheter that I put in my stomach and change every few days. And it builds up the cannula that stays in my skin, in my subcutaneous fat. It builds up scar tissue around it. So I have a lot of scar tissue in my stomach too, and I feel like from the inside out, my scar tissue is becoming less and less. And that's quite amazing to me too.
Mm.
Yeah, not only scars on the outside, but scars on the inside.
On the inside.
What about your pancreas? How did it work, like before you started the urine therapy, and now? How is it? I don't know actually what happens with the pancreas.
Okay, well, and I am no medical professional either, so I just know what I know from my own research. But
okay.
There's two types of diabetes, type 1 and actually, there's more than that, but the major types of diabetes are type 1 and type 2.
Right.
95% of the population has type 2, adult onset. 5% have juvenile diabetes. So my pancreas, I have juvenile diabetes. My pancreas does not secrete any insulin. So I, to this day, don't know if it is producing insulin. I still don't think it is, but there is insulin in urine. There is insulin in urine.
Yeah.
So that's, a huge benefit to me. And I will have my pancreas tested one day. I just don't think it's the right time. But there is a test that they can do on your pancreas. I think it's called a C-peptide, to see if my pancreas is secreting any insulin. And until it starts secreting insulin, and I'm positive that it will, until it starts creating the insulin, I will eat as little as I can and continue to drink my own water and distilled water and fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I hope it will. I mean, it sounds like it's I think if you will do a test, you will see different results. I mean, you will see something going
Yeah.
on with the pancreas.
Actually, I just want to go for 1 second for to return to the what we said earlier about green tea and fluoride, because you just have to put in your search engine green tea, fluoride, and so much information about it. The tea leaves accumulate more fluoride from the pollution of the soil and air, and that's it. It just absorbs much more fluoride
Yeah.
from all the toxins and chemicals and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with green tea and fluoride.
Yeah.
So when you see those commercials like drink green tea, just think about it, because it's it's in the long run it's detrimental to the body. That's for sure.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, you know, I was just thinking back about the pancreas. It's the beta cells of the islets of Langerhans that are clogged. They're clogged. They've got the cells are alive, but they just don't function, and that's where the removing the calcification comes in. So, anyway.
Yeah.
if you can address a little more to the, except for urea, do you know if other substances are in urine
I do, and I'm trying to see if I have a list of what they are, because I don't remember. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Okay, so urea, creatinine, and I don't know what creatinine is. It's creatinine, and I know creatinine is something that they always test on me when I have my blood tested. And then there's uric acid, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, chloride. And then there's, let's see.
I wonder if those are like inorganic mineral or they're organic. I mean, because actually the urine is like pulling out from the body all the inorganic mineral, no? But I don't know what happens in the kidneys, so...
Yeah, I don't know. I think that those are organic. You mean the sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I would think that it would be, I don't know, I'm just guessing.
All right.
That it would be organic.
Yeah. So you will check it.
Yeah.
What's making the urine the homeopathic substance, that really cure us in this?
I think that it's two-part. I think it's the distilled water, the 95% of the urine that's distilled, the purest, even purer than distilled water is your own, because your kidneys are your distillers.
Yeah.
So if you're looping your own urine, you just continue to refine until it's pure light. And so I think it's the distilled water aspect of the urine, in addition, to the other 5% it's live tissue. It's live tissue. And I mean, I am living proof that it's healing what has caused a lot of damage to my body.
Yeah.
it's live tissue, and that is probably the simplest answer. It's literally, it's live. It makes me shake to say that, but it is. It's live tissue. It's exciting. I mean, it's exciting. It's live tissue,
Yeah.
and it's knitting my bones back together. I mean, I am feeling like my body was starting to twist, like my shoulders and my arms, you know, nothing that you could tell. If you looked at me, you would never in a million years know I had diabetes.
Right.
But if you were inside my body, you'd know it. And my body was starting to like twist, which was really weird, like twist in, like my right arm was starting to twist, and even my hip and my leg, and I completely don't feel that anymore. I feel areas of my bones and areas of my body that I think are being healed from the live tissue that I'm drinking.
Yeah.
Well,
Actually, Gal has found something really interesting. Gal, you want to? explain that?
exactly. You're reading my mind. Hey,
Yeah.
what you doing? So, you mean about the epitel cells and stem cells?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what I found when I was searching for, I heard a radio show about a doctor that treat even stage 4 cancer with natural techniques, and one of them was with the stem cells. Now, I started to search for, okay, so what's the latest news in stem cells, and I found out that in the nephrons that are like the sponge in your kidney, that there are like more than 1 million nephrons in each kidney.
Mm-hmm.
These are the little distilled tubes. If you'll search nephron, you'll see that. And inside the nephrons there are epitel cells, and in the epitel cells there are stem cells. Now, when you secrete urine, there are at least 50,000 epitel cells just going to waste. Well, not in my case, they're not going to waste, but but you basically, when you do that, you loop back, you return stem cells to the body. Now, when you say live tissue, that's, I guess, in a sense, these are the stem cells.
Yes.
There is a whole field of exploration called nephrology, where they do all these experiments to see what's in there. So for our listeners, if you want to kind of dive in even more to this very, very broad world, you'll see so many just jaw-dropping things about what can you do to your health, and that's just amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And I feel it. I mean, I feel it happening, and I'm sure you do too.
Yes, I do.
Feel it
Yeah.
happening inside
I
your
do.
body.
Yes, I'm doing it for almost a year now. I had like a couple of months to stop when I was in a retreat with
Oh yeah, Gabriel Cousins.
with Gabriel Cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just a life-changing experience with the 9-day juice fast and everything.
Yeah.
So that was very empowering. Then when I started to study conscious eating and everything, that was just pieces of the. I got so many like synchronicities and pieces to the puzzle. That was like bam, bam, bam every time. Like things just got stick to me. Like I knew this and I knew that, and I feel my brain capacity. I don't know how to explain, but I feel like there is this condensed knowledge that I can accumulate ever since I started it, like my brain grew or something, and my consciousness. So I study so much, like so many hours of study and reading and videos and writing,
Yeah.
and I'm so active.
I remember Gal couldn't read a book.
Yeah,
Really?
I couldn't read. I started a line, and then my mind was wandering off, and I just couldn't. I couldn't. It was so frustrating, and now I can accumulate so much knowledge. Just imagine if you do this, even distilled water. You don't have to drink your own urine, but only if you do this for like a week or two, it will probably be cleared. All the
Yeah.
ADD and stuff.
Yeah,
So
just a gallon a day of distilled water. Nobody has
that's
to drink their own urine.
no,
Yeah.
no, that's so important. The gallon a day.
Yeah.
When I drank like much less, so it didn't. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the oomph, as you say, like this hydration and this clearing in my head and my thoughts. I don't have the craving for food. I can smell food and it looks good, but I don't need the food to kind of fill spaces in my soul, in my being. I don't. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's so amazing.
And the gallon, it's because all of our disease is in our blood, and the gallon to gallon and a half, or 4 to 5 liters, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I have 4 liters.
4 liters.
4 liters is a gallon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just that 1 gallon to if you're a bigger person, you would want to do 1.5 gallons of distilled water, but that's what flushes the whatever's in your blood that needs to come out. But you need that volume. We can't stress enough how important it is that you get to the volume, to the gallon or gallon and a half per day.
Yeah. This is
Also, the lymphatic system is really, really important in the body, and I think that's what the 4 liters or 1 gallon is doing, just cleaning
Yeah.
their lymphatic system. And
Yeah.
well, the lymphatic system is much as much more liquid than the blood. The blood is like maybe 25%, and the lymphatic system is like 75%. So that's very important, just to clean out all the garbage. I believe it takes well, I guess it's different with every body, every person, that it takes around 20 days to, if you do a fast or distilled water or your own water, to clean out all a whole recycle of the blood. Like it's kind of like doing a full infusion or something. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like you're replacing all the dirty blood you had, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Can I tell a story about a friend of mine?
sure.
Yeah, sure.
So she was diagnosed with breast cancer back 3.5 years ago, and it metastasized into her brain. And back then they gave her 13 months to live, but she's still living today. And I happened to go to the hospital with her last week to have her scan of her brain to see if she's had she's had chemo, radiation, everything, surgery, and she has 4 tumors left in her brain. Well, About a month ago, only a month ago, she stopped drinking Diet Pepsi, and she started juicing, and she started doing a cleanse. And I went to the doctor with her just last week, and 3 of the tumors remained the same and 1 shrunk. And it was the first time ever that a tumor had shrunk on her. And, you know, who knows what the future holds, but I just think it's a telling sign of just that short period of time on juice and distilled liquids. You know, she's not drinking distilled water or her own urine, but just from the juice, just the distilled liquids in the juice, I think
Right.
she's going to reap the benefits of that. So anyway, just had to share that story.
Yeah. So haven't you suggest her to
Oh,
drink?
of course. Of
Okay.
course. But you know, I mean, it's like, it's a slow process with some people.
Yeah, of course.
I think their pineal gland is so rock hard, huge, calcified, you know, thing in their brain that they just don't see, you know, they don't see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Makes me very sad, but
Well, yeah. Wow, I think we are on
There's
the top of the hour and a half even.
oh boy.
No,
wow, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I have to say I love you guys.
Wow,
Oh.
me too. Love you.
We love
You're
you. We love you
amazing,
so
and
much.
thank you for being as an example for everybody.
Yes, thank you so much, Anna.
Oh,
You
welcome.
really,
Thank you for what you guys are doing. I think you guys are doing a good service for your country.
well, I think it will be the first time that people out of Israel will hear this, and I hope hopefully it will help some people. And for some of us that you know and that are in between decisions and what to do, it will also help. Yeah.
Even if it helps one person, that's what Andrew would tell me. He would say, even if it helps one person,
Sure.
you know?
That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah.
Just sending the loving vibration of healing is enough. Actually, just be, and that's it.
All right.
Wow. Okay. So, for all listeners, I hope you've learned some new things today. I hope all listeners will truly take the next step in their life, and will just know that healing their physical body will allow them to, well, achieve anything they want, basically, to dream, because when you start to decalcify your pineal gland and everything, you start to remember your dreams, and dreams are so important. So
Right.
I just wanted to add that in there. Yes. Wow. That's so amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Anna.
Anna.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye, Leah. Bye, Gal.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Talk